Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in Tây Ninh province, and now we come into details. The audience, the Communist Party of Vietnam, has promulgated the regulations on responsibility to set an example of key characters of the fight against corruption and negativity. So long with upholding the self-disciplines of each individual, Tây Ninh Provincial Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control has given specific instructions to boost the regulation in practice and bring about high efficiencies in this work.
The Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, the Provincial Party Standing Committee, has specified the instructions, regulations, and requirements for party committees at all levels, party organizations, and heads of agencies and units to have a good performance in setting an example of responsibilities. Specifically, they must register for an action plan, commit to implementing it in association with self-examination and self-correction according to the spirit of the four plenum of the 13th Party Central Committee, and associated with studying and following Ho Chi Minh's ideology, morality, and style, the fight against corruption and negativity. Party members, especially the head, must uphold the sense of responsibility. Monitoring work should always be strengthened. Supervision applies not only to performance of political tasks, but also to the performance of the responsibility, exemplifying the responsibilities of the heads of the committee, the head of the agency in directing the leadership. Recently, the Provincial Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control has directed the party committees of agencies and units to develop plans, self-check and correct in terms of financial management to manage closer to contribute to the prevention of negativity and corruption. Tây Ninh people pay special attention to and believe in the party's fight against corruption. This work makes an important contribution to maintaining political stability and socio-economic development of the country. On March 30, Tây Ninh Provincial Public Security Department held a conference to review the fight against drug-related crimes in the first quarter of 2023. Over the last time, the situation of drug crimes in the province continues to be complicated. The subjects still try to illegally enter and exit through the open road to transport drugs into Vietnam through Tây Ninh border area for consumption. Therefore, the provincial police force has focused on implementing many measures to effectively fight drug crimes. The organization of illegal use and use of narcotics is also complicated. The objects mainly take advantage of business establishments with conditions on security such as hotels, motels, karaoke, and houses for rent to operate. The province so far has more than 1,700 drug users and addicts, a decrease of more than 2,000 people compared to the first quarter of 2022. At the end of the conference, Colonel Nguyễn Quốc Toàn, Deputy Director of the Provincial Public Security Department, asked, the situation of drug crimes is expected to develop more complicated in the coming time, so in parallel with the fight against drug crimes, the police force from the province to the grassroots level will continue to maintain the effective implementation of crime prevention models, promote the propaganda of the law on drug prevention and drug harms to the people, especially young people, in order to continue to control the rising of this problem in the locality.
In the evening of March 29, the art program Border Seas and Islands in My Heart, jointly organized by the Vietnam Youth Federations of Ho Chi Minh City and Tây Ninh Province, took place at the headquarters of Hòa Hiệp Camille People's Committee, attracting the participations of many members and young people.
Many exciting cultural performances towards the love of the homeland and country were shown. Many songs rise Portuguese who overcome difficulties day and night to keep the border peaceful. The audience also enjoyed the unique traditional dance of the Khmer people. The organizing committee has spent 600 million Vietnam dong to carry out many meaningful projects and works for the community, including some outstanding activities such as awarding 100 million Vietnam dong to implement the historical monument steel house project of the propaganda department of the Central Office for South Vietnam, giving gifts to the provincial border guard and necessities to the border stations, as well as officers and soldiers in difficult circumstances. The program has left very good impressions in the hearts of border guards and people in Tân Biên district, giving more confidence and motivation to successfully complete the task of holding on to the border and stabilizing the political security, social order and safety in border areas, creating favorable conditions for local development.
Turn to other news. The audience. Over the last time, the Fire Prevention, Fighting and Rescue Police Force of Tây Ninh Province have increased activities of propaganda, intrusion, and safety inspection on fire prevention and fighting for residential areas, households, and houses, combined with productions and businesses.
Tây Ninh Province now has nearly 18,000 houses combined with production and business. In order to ensure fire prevention and fighting safety in the above areas, the Fire Prevention, Fighting and Rescue Police of Tây Ninh Public Security deploy solutions coordinated with all levels and branches to focus on propagandizing and instructing the people on raising awareness of proactive fire prevention fighting readiness. We conduct inspection and guide production business households here on equipping fire protection equipment. We also ask and remind the facilities to arrange their goods neatly to ensure a safe distance in case of fire to prevent fire from spreading. Warri Police also regularly check and remind as well as support knowledge about fire prevention and fighting. We also master that issue to do it well, then propagate it to everyone around. I will check the electrical equipment and make sure everything is safe before leaving. I often keep an eye on the fire protection work through television and ask the police for further guidance. I pay close attention to fire protection issues, so I regularly check electrical sources. In addition, I also pay attention to the access so that it is safe. In order to minimize the potential risk caused by the fire and explosion, everyone, especially households in combination with production and business, needs to strictly abide by the safety regulations on fire prevention and fighting and design a second escape route. Regularly check electrical equipment that often causes fire and explosion. On March 30, Mr. Bùi Tuấn Hải, Deputy Director of the Provincial Department of Education and Training, held a survey at Tây Ninh College and Education in order to find solutions for the school's dormitory. The school representative reported that during the outbreak of the COVID-19 epidemic, the dormitory was requisitioned as a field hospital. Around February 2022, after the COVID-19 was under control, the field hospital number 3, the isolation area was dissolved. The school has repeatedly sent documents to the relevant agencies requesting repair, dismantling, and returning the dormitory, but it has not yet received a written response. On March 16, 2023, the school, together with the Steering Committee for Epidemic Prevention and Control of Tây Ninh City, conducted a survey for repair. Through the actual survey, Mr. Hải said with the school difficulties, he also came up with a solution that the middle block of the dormitory will be cleaned up and put into use before April 15, 2023. The Provincial Department of Education and Training also suggested that the school consider supporting without collecting boarding fees for the first 1 or 2 months to create favorable conditions for students. The department will continue to work with the Department of Health, Tây Ninh City People's Committee to report to the Provincial People's Committee as soon as possible.
The audience, the Youth Union of Gia Bình West Trảng Bàng Thao, had just organized a folklore festival. This is considered as one of the practical activities to bring folklore closer to union members, youth, and young people, thereby contributing to preserving and promoting folklore's identity in Tây Ninh. Many hands-on experience activities were held. The highlight is still the seminar, Young People with Folk Culture, on how young people have the opportunity to experience and feel folklore in the clearest way.
This is probably the first time local union members, youth and members have access to various types of folklore, as well as interacting with cultural researchers, artists, and poets in such an honest and close manner. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Lợi, member of the Vietnam Folklore Association, deputy branch of the Folk Arts Association at the University of Culture in Ho Chi Minh City, phone authorized for this program and affirmed that this is probably the first time a world-level delegation dare and have enough power to organize such a unique and diverse folklore festival. They introduced the beauty of folklore from food, folk performances to communal worship. Another unique thing is that students experience a number of practical activities, which will be lively lessons for students love for homeland more. They are able to discover the beauty that is very ordinary but also very fanciful. I found it to be a very effective means and method of education. Initially, I had the hobby of researching folklore, wanted to connect this activity to young people by organizing a festival to be able to reach them, especially in the mind of youth. There are many imprints on the road. They will be able to witness with their own hands touching the artifacts to arouse their interest. People can witness with their own eyes the experience of traditional crafts. There are also research artifacts, research works, and good books on display here. It has really brought young people back in time, easily accessing the folklore roots of the ancient Vietnamese. As a young person, a son of TayNinh, attending this festival, I feel that I have absorbed some folk cultural values that I didn't know before. I think this is a useful lesson for my life. Rồi the sharing of researcher Nguyễn Thanh Lợi about keeping the profession of making trảng bàng điêu wetted rice paper by the elite artisan Phạm Thị Đường, and the sharing of Master Nguyễn Tuấn An's young people with love for traditional five body áo dài, all of which made the young people burst with excitement when absorbing new knowledge about folk culture. In addition, the students were also very interested in the practice of golden tree dance by folk artists Ngọc Phượng and young lady Ngọc Trinh. We must know how to evoke, know how to organize and guide so that young people can find their culture from there to promote. If you want to love it, you must first understand it, know what it is. But in my opinion, the best way is to experience. It is hoped that this activity will be replicated further in the near future. When young people are interested in folklore, they are affirming that they do not forget about folklore. It is firmly believed that the experience at this festival will arouse and nurture the love of folklore of young people. From there, they continue to have more extensive experiences to continue to spread the good values of the folklore beauties right in their hometown.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thanks for being with us and goodbye for now.